What's going on, guys? Lon here from Android Authority, and good Android tablets are hard to find, and great Android tablets, well, those are even harder to find. And Sony's latest tablet is bringing water and dust-proof capabilities, a super high resolution display, and PlayStation integration, all wrapped up in a super thin chassis. But does it do enough to stand out amongst the sea of Android tablets, or does it simply just fall in line with the rest? Well, that's what we're about to find out with the Sony Xperia Z4 Tablet. When picking up the Z4 tablet for the first time, the first thing that will strike you about it is how incredibly thin it is. It measures in at a very slim 6.1 millimeters and is pretty lightweight, making it an absolute pleasure to hold. It is entirely made of plastic, but it definitely does not feel cheap, and the back is coated in a textured matte finish, at least on the white version, that gives the tablet plenty of grip. The rectangular shape, silver trim, and somewhat angular design is very true to Sony, and depending on who you are, you may love the simplicity of Sony's design, or you may find it to be a little bit bland. The bezels on the front may also not be the most aesthetically pleasing thing to look at. Functionally, they make for great resting points for your thumbs, but it does make the tablet look a lot like a picture frame when staring at it head on. When holding the device in landscape, you'll find both the power and volume buttons on the left side, which makes complete sense on a tablet that's primarily designed for landscape use, especially from an ergonomic standpoint, as they're very easy to reach. It's almost shocking more tablet OEMs haven't thought of moving the power and volume to the short side for larger sized tablets. The remaining ports are in typical locations, with the micro USB on the right, 3.5mm headphone jack up top, followed by a large plastic flap that covers the micro SD and SIM slot that you can take advantage of on the LTE enabled version. On the front is pretty standard stuff with the usual sensors, a front-facing camera, and a multicolored LED notification light, but most importantly, there are dual front-facing speakers denoted by tiny slits that are very inconspicuous to keep the front looking clean. One of the main attractions of the Z4 tablet is definitely the display. The screen measures in at 10.1 inches with a resolution of 2560 by 1600, making it extremely sharp, and it provides pretty much everything you would want out of a large, beautiful, super high-res display. It's bright, vivid, has great viewing angles and color saturation, and it's perfect for pretty much anything, whether it's web browsing, reading news stories, keeping up with social networks, gaming, or even the occasional movie. Being that this is a Sony device, you can also take advantage of Sony's X Reality engine for clearer, sharper, and more natural images, or switch to a super vivid mode that really ups the saturation for a more vibrant image with photos and video. You can also get more granular with the display and make white balance adjustments in the settings if you prefer a much cooler or warmer color tone, but by default the screen is already quite accurate in white balance and color temperature. Performance on the Z4 tablet has also been extremely impressive thanks to the powerful Snapdragon 810 processor inside, backed by 3 gigs of RAM. The overall experience has been super fluid, and I've rarely encountered any instances of lag or stutters, if any, to be honest, and switching between applications, multitasking, and navigating through the general interface has been fantastic, and gaming on the Z4 tablet isn't a problem at all. Obviously, a lot of you guys will wonder if the Z4 tablet overheats due to the Snapdragon 810 processor inside, which has been notorious for running hot, but so far I haven't ran into such an issue. The tablet has never shut down on me or ceased operation of an application, and even though I primarily use my tablets for gaming and watching videos, tasks that can typically generate a lot of heat with the processor, the Z4 tablet has done a surprisingly great job at keeping its cool. Sony has also made a big emphasis with audio on the Z4 tablet. There's built-in high-res audio support for reduced distortion and digital noise canceling technology that is capable of reducing exterior noise by up to 98% when paired with a pair of digital noise canceling headphones. The Z4 tablet can also optimize audio specifically for your ears, no matter what pair of headphones or earbuds you use, and I'm not an audiophile by any means, but audio definitely does sound great on the Z4 tablet, and the audio enhancements can all be done automatically, quality, or if you're willing to go deeper, the Z4 Tablet offers manual equalizer controls and surround sound effects for that perfect listening experience. Now, obviously we can't talk about hardware without talking about the front-facing speakers on the Z4 Tablet. While you aren't able to take advantage of any of Sony's audio enhancements through these speakers, the quality of the speakers themselves is actually quite good and really tops off the media experience. They're loud, crisp, and clear, and don't show any signs of distortion even at max volume. They're easily some of the best speakers you can find on a tablet right now, although that statement probably doesn't do the Z4 Tablet justice, considering there aren't many tablets with front-facing speakers, let alone having even 2 speakers. Other hardware includes typical connectivity like Bluetooth, NFC, Wi-Fi, and LTE if you choose to go with the LTE-enabled version. There's 32 gigs of onboard storage that's expandable up to an additional 128 gigs via microSD if you need more. Of course, a Sony product wouldn't be complete without being waterproof and dust tight. With a rating of IP65 and 68, the Z4 Tablet can handle the occasional splash and submersion for up to 30 minutes at 1.5 meters, but keep in mind this is fresh water only. Inside of the Z4 Tablet is a large 6,000 mAh battery to keep things running, and battery life on the Z4 has been quite impressive. I primarily only use tablets for playing games and watching videos, so I suppose you could say I'm a heavy user, but even so, the Z4 Tablet consistently manages to eke out 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time, with anywhere between 24 to 30 hours off the charger. With lighter, more casual use, you can expect a drastic increase in these numbers, and the Z4 Tablet should be able to easily go for a good several days before needing to be plugged in. Cameras historically have never been great on tablets, and I've always sort of felt like an afterthought, especially when you compare them to cameras on smartphones. The Z4 Tablet doesn't necessarily change that, but what you do get is an 8 megapixel camera on the rear and a 5 megapixel camera on the front for selfies and video chats. The camera software is typical Sony with a very clean and easy to use interface, and among the standard modes like Superior Auto and Manual, there's a bunch of novel shooting modes like Face in Picture, Sweep Panorama, Multi-Camera, and AR Effect. The usefulness of some of these features are questionable, but some of them can be a lot of fun should you decide to use them. Picture quality, however, is exactly what you would expect from a tablet camera. They're serviceable photos and should do the job just fine if you're in a pinch, but you'll be setting yourself up for disappointment if you're expecting the same level of quality that can be achieved on a smartphone. It takes decent photos and good lighting, but in any other conditions like low light, there's a noticeable level of noise, and not having a flash certainly doesn't help. The appropriate amount of color and detail that makes for a good image just isn't there, and the camera tends to over-sharpen the images to make up for it. In software, the Z4 Tablet is running on 5.0.2 Lollipop with Sony's Xperia UI, which is arguably still one of the better Android skins out there. The Xperia UI changes a few things from stock Android, like the color scheme and customizable app drawer, but it keeps much of the material design elements of Lollipop intact and mostly just stays out of the way. Many of Sony's familiar features are still here, like the small apps for easier multitasking. This feature typically isn't quite as useful on a phone, but it works a lot better on the Z4 Tablet and is much easier to use due to the larger screen real estate. You've also got the LifeLog application, which has become a standard app across Sony's most recent devices, and it's great for not only tracking your fitness data, but also your general overall lifestyle to see how much time you've dedicated to doing certain things, such as sleeping or listening to music throughout your daily routine. Like many other Sony mobile products, the Z4 Tablet also includes PlayStation integration to remotely play PS4 games directly on the tablet, allowing you to play virtually anywhere you want in your home. This is definitely a huge selling point for PS4 owners, and is something that, for the time being, is very unique to Sony and gives the Z4 Tablet a huge edge over other tablets in the gaming department. Availability and pricing for the Z4 Tablet has yet to be announced for the US, but it is available direct from Amazon for a starting price of $599 for Wi-Fi only, $699 for the LTE version, and there's also another version that comes with an included keyboard dock for $759. These prices put it squarely in Apple iPad territory, and it's going to be purely up to you to decide if it's worth it, but as the old saying goes, you get what you pay for, and in this case, that couldn't be more true. So what is it about the Z4 Tablet that makes it a great Android tablet? Well, it simply ticks off all the important boxes with a large, beautiful display, Thin and light design, fast performance, excellent software, great battery life, and exceeds expectations by providing water and dust-proof capabilities, high-res audio, and PlayStation integration. There's no such thing as a perfect product, but there's not much bad you can say about the Z4 tablet. Like I said before, it's been a while since we've seen a great Android tablet hit the market, and the Z4 tablet is a tablet that truly goes above and beyond, and it's about time an OEM finally got it right. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up down below. We definitely appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel, which is also down below if you haven't already. And if you want to see more content here from us, there's a couple videos linked down below here as well if you want to check those out. And also, don't forget to check out the website as well for more in-depth coverage, AndroidAuthority.com, because we are your source for all things Android.